Welcome back to the channel, Cowboys Nation. As the off-season continues to unfold and we march steadily toward training camp, we've now got 9 more major takeaways from the latest round of Dallas Cowboys organized team activities, better known as OTAs. The vibes around the star in Frisco are charged with intensity, optimism, and some big questions too. These OTAs haven't just been a casual tune-up, they've felt like a stage for players to make statements, prove points, and claim spots on this 2025 Cowboys roster. Today, we're diving deep into everything we've learned, with major developments involving none other than Micah Parsons, rookie quarterback Joe Milton, recent acquisition George Pickens, and cornerback Kaiir Elam, among others. So buckle up, because what's happening at OTAs right now could have ripple effects all the way into January football. Let's start with what's quickly become the most talked about storyline in Cowboys camp: Micah Parsons. Now, there's never a day where Micah blends into the background. He's always the loudest voice, the fastest burst, and the most electric presence on the field. But this OTA session took that up another notch. Micah isn't just preparing to dominate again, he's taken on the role of vocal team leader with a seriousness we haven't quite seen from him before. Coaches are saying it, teammates are saying it, and reporters on the scene are saying it. Micah is stepping into the alpha leadership role that this defense needs in a post-Dan Quinn era. And it's not just rah-rah energy. He's been working directly with the young defensive linemen, like Chauncey Galston and Viliami Fehoko, staying behind after practice to help them with hand placement, leverage, and pass rush technique. There's a maturity surfacing here, and it's becoming crystal clear that Micah wants to be more than a highlight machine. He wants to lead this team to a Super Bowl. Moving on to Joe Milton, the rookie quarterback who continues to make waves in both good and eyebrow-raising ways. What we've learned over the past few OTA sessions is that the arm talent is every bit as advertised. Milton threw a 70-yard bomb on a line during one of the sessions that had even veterans clapping. But there's more to the story than just a cannon for an arm. There have been moments where he's struggled with touch, timing, and reading the defense, especially against Dallas veteran secondary. Still, the coaching staff remains intrigued, not frustrated. They know this is a developmental pick. They're not expecting him to unseat Dak Prescott, not this year. But what's caught people's attention is that Milton is staying late every day, working with third-string receivers, grinding through playbook simulations on the sideline, and doing extra film work with quarterbacks coach Scott Tolzien. There's no sense of entitlement, just a hunger to grow. And that's what makes him worth keeping an eye on, because once that processing speed catches up to the arm talent, things could get scary in a good way. Now let's talk about George Pickens, the former Steelers wideout who joined the Cowboys in one of the more surprising moves of the offseason. It's only been a few weeks, but he's already making an impression. Pickens has been working almost exclusively with the first team, lining up opposite CeeDee Lamb, and the chemistry is developing fast. There's a physicality to Pickens' game that the Cowboys haven't had in a number 2 receiver in years. He's winning contested catches, boxing out corners, and showing elite body control on the sidelines. But what's really turning heads is his attitude. He's locked in, quieter, and more businesslike than he was during his sometimes volatile stint in Pittsburgh. According to insiders, he's approached this opportunity with a chip on his shoulder. He wants to show he's more than just potential. He wants to be reliable, consistent, and feared. If OTAs are any indication, Pickens might just be the missing piece that allows Lamb to thrive even more without always drawing the top corner on every snap. Speaking of cornerbacks, let's get into Kaiir Elam. The Cowboys took a calculated gamble bringing in Elam, a former first-round pick by the Bills who fell out of favor quickly in Buffalo. But change of scenery might be just what he needed. Elam has been quietly impressive throughout OTAs, showing off the press man coverage skills that once made him such a coveted draft prospect. And with Trayvon Diggs still limited as he works his way back from injury, Elam's been getting a ton of run with the first team. Coaches are praising his attention to detail and willingness to take coaching. He's been glued to Jalen Tolbert, and even had a few reps against CeeDee Lamb where he held his own. While it's early, Elam is pushing himself into serious conversation for a rotational role, if not more. If he can carry this level of play into training camp and preseason, we may look back and call this one of the Cowboys' most underrated moves of the year. Another big takeaway from these OTAs has been the continued growth of tight end Jake Ferguson. There were questions heading into the offseason about whether Ferguson could take another leap, or if the Cowboys needed to bring in someone else to challenge him for that T1 role. Well, Ferguson has answered with his work. He's stronger, faster, and catching everything thrown his way. But beyond the physical improvements, his connection with Dak Prescott has clearly deepened. They've been in sync all camp, especially in red zone drills where Ferguson's body control and spatial awareness have been top tier. And don't sleep on his blocking either. Ferguson's been sealing edges and holding his own against linebackers, which is critical for what Mike McCarthy wants to do in the run game this year. Right now, he looks like he's taken full ownership of the position. Let's shift focus to the offensive line, where some intriguing developments are unfolding. Rookie guard Cooper Beebe has been taking reps with the first team, and the early returns are overwhelmingly positive. The Kansas State product has looked comfortable and aggressive, and more importantly, he's communicating well with Tyler Biadasz and Tyron Smith. The coaching staff clearly wants to test him early, and so far, Beebe's answered the bell. His footwork has been clean, and he's absorbing stunts and blitzes better than most rookies would. If he continues on this trajectory, the Cowboys may have found a long-term answer on the interior, which could be huge as they aim to solidify protection for Dak and open lanes for the run game. On the defensive side, another emerging storyline is the resurgence of linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. Coming off a torn ACL that ended his rookie year before it started, Overshown has been moving like a man on a mission. He's not only participating fully, he's flying around the field with explosiveness and confidence. His coverage skills, particularly against running backs and tight ends, have looked sharp, and his blitzing instincts are flashing in team drills. Dan Quinn may be gone, but the linebacker-friendly philosophy remains, and Overshown looks like someone who could be a key chess piece in this revamped defensive scheme. He's also been incredibly vocal, hyping up teammates, and showing that even though he missed his rookie year, he never stopped being mentally involved. Now let's talk about Tony Pollard's role, or rather, the evolution of it. With Pollard now in Tennessee, there's a big spotlight on the Cowboys' backfield. Rico Dowdle and rookie Nathaniel Peete have been rotating first-team reps, but the real surprise? The Cowboys are experimenting with Kevontae Turpin out of the backfield. Yes, Turpin, the speed demon return specialist, has been getting legit reps at running back during OTAs. He's lining up in motion, taking jet sweeps, and even running between the tackles in certain looks. It's clear that Mike McCarthy wants to inject more speed into the offense and keep defenses guessing. While Turpin probably won't be a volume back, don't be shocked if we see him in gadget roles that maximize his quickness and force missed tackles in open space. It's a wrinkle that could become deadly if developed right. And finally, one of the most under-the-radar but important developments has been the energy and precision coming from special teams. Kicker Brandon Aubrey, who surprised many last season with his consistency, is picking up right where he left off. He's been money from 40-plus yards all week and has even been working on directional kickoffs to add more value to his role. Meanwhile, punter Brian Anger is still booming 60-yarders like it's nothing. But perhaps most importantly, the coverage units look fast and disciplined. That's a testament to new special teams coordinator Jeremy Springer, who's emphasizing technique and lane integrity more than flash. In close games, special teams can be the difference, and the Cowboys are clearly putting in the work now to ensure they win those hidden yardage battles. So when you take a step back and look at these 9 takeaways: Micah Parsons' leadership evolution, Joe Milton's development journey, George Pickens' early chemistry, Kaiir Elam's redemption arc, Jake Ferguson's next-level play, Cooper Beebe's instant impact, DeMarvion Overshown's comeback, Kevontae Turpin's offensive experimentation, and special teams tightening the screws, you start to get a picture of a Cowboys team that's hungry, focused, and deeper than in years past. These aren't just isolated flashes, these are indicators of a team that's taking every inch of this offseason seriously. The mindset is clear, they don't want to just win the NFC East, they want to control the NFC entirely. The big question now is how this momentum carries into minicamp and then into training camp. It's easy to look good in shorts, as they say. But what separates contenders from pretenders is whether these positive trends hold when the pads come on. Still, if we're just judging by what we've seen so far, this Cowboys roster looks locked in, unified, and determined to silence critics. There's no drama overshadowing the work. No contract holdouts. No leadership voids. Instead, there's structure, energy, and a rising tide of talent pushing for something greater than another playoff appearance. They want to rewrite the ending this time. As always, Cowboys fans, I'll be keeping a close eye on every development as we move into the next phase of the offseason. Make sure you stay tuned right here for full coverage, in-depth analysis, and breakdowns of every roster move, training camp battle, and preseason standout. If you enjoyed this update and want to support the channel, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Let's ride into the season together, one OTA takeaway at a time. Go Cowboys!